all. So today we're going to learn biology from grade 7, the transportation of substances.
Transportation of substances. Transportation of nutrients, oxygen, waste material through the body is done by various organs and components of an organism. In unicellular organisms like amoeba, transportation takes place through diffusion. In multicellular organisms, the transportation is done by the specialized organ system called circulatory system. Multicellular organisms like jellyfish, whose body structure is not very well developed, does not have a complicated circulatory system. Water flows through their body via which transportation takes place. More complex organs have a highly developed circulatory system which enables transportation to every cell of the body.
Circulatory system in humans. The circulatory system consists of blood vessels, and a heart. Blood. Blood is a fluid that flows in the blood vessels, connecting all parts of the body. An average adult has 4 to 5 liters of blood that forms 8% of our body weight. The functions of blood. It carries oxygen from the lungs to all cells of the body and carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. It carries the digested food from the belly in the small intestine to all the cells in the body. The waste materials are transported to the kidney for proper removal. It also maintains the body temperature. It carries hormones and antibodies to their target sites.
Composition of blood. Blood has two components, which is plasma of 55% and blood cells of 45%. Plasma. It's a fluid part of the blood and it is in yellow in color. It consists of 90% of water and 10% of proteins. It also consists of mineral ions such as potassium and calcium nutrients, dissolved gases, metabolic wastes like urea and uric acids. Blood cells. Red blood cells, also called erythrocytes, have hemoglobin which give blood the red color. RBCs help in transportation of oxygen. They have an average lifespan of 120 days.
White blood cells, also called leukocytes. They are lesser in number than the RBCs, and they are larger in size. They are colorless, do not contain pigment, less than 10% of the total blood cells. They help the body in fighting against diseases. There are 5 types of WBCs in our body. Platelets, also called thrombocytes. They are the smallest cells. They are colorless. They help in the clotting of blood. New blood cells are formed in the body by the process of hematopoiesis in the bone marrow of long bones in our body.
Blood vessels. Complex system of tubes, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Difference between arteries and veins. Arteries. They carry oxygenated blood, oxygen rich, from heart to all parts of the body. The only exception is the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs. They are deep seated in the body. They have thicker elastic walls which help to sustain the pressure with which the blood flows through them. They do not have any valves. Arteries further branch into even smaller vessels called arterioles, which join the capillaries. Veins. They carry deoxygenated blood, carbon dioxide rich, from different parts of the body to the heart for purification. The only exception is the pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. They lie closer to the surface of the skin and can be easily seen as greenish blue tubes on hands and legs. They have thinner walls. They have a series of valves which also allow the blood to flow in only one direction. Venules are the fine blood vessels that arise from capillaries and join together to form a vein. Capillaries. Thin blood vessels connecting to arteries and veins are capillaries. They have thin walls for diffusion.
The heart. The heart located between the lungs and is slightly tilted to the left. Protected by the rib cage, it pumps about 60 to 80 times a minute. These are the parts of the heart. This is the superior vena cava. Well, this is the right atrium. And this is the right ventricle. This is the pulmonary valve. And this is the tricuspid valve. This is the inferior vena cava. This is the pericardium. This is the aortic valve, the mitral valve, pulmonary vein, and pulmonary artery with the aorta.
Circulation of blood in the human body. As you see, the blood first goes to the cells and then to the capillaries and then to the veins, which is the CO2 blood, and then goes to the superior and inferior vena cava, then goes to the right arteries, and then goes to the right ventricles, and then goes to the pulmonary arteries, lungs, which gives carbon dioxide and pick oxygen, and then goes to pulmonary veins, and then goes to left arteries, followed by left ventricle, aorta, arteries, capillaries, and again back to the cells.
The heartbeat and pulse. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart is known as heartbeat. The number of heartbeats per minute is known as heart rate. The normal heart rate in an adult is 70 to 80 heartbeats per minute. The heartbeat can be heard using a stethoscope, which amplifies the sound of the heartbeat. The throbbing sensation of an artery at each beat of the heart is known as pulse. The pumping of blood is felt in the arteries that lie close to the skin. Best places to feel the pulse are the wrist and above the elbow, the neck, temples, and on the foot.
Excretion in organisms. Excretion is the process of removal of metabolic wastes from the body. In unicellular organisms, excretion takes place through diffusion. Simple multicellular forms like Hydra removes their waste through the main opening of the body. Animals like earthworms and leeches have tube-like structures, nephridia, for waste removal. In fish, main waste is ammonia-based, removal by gills and kidneys, ammonotelic. In insects, birds, reptiles, the main waste is uric acid, and that is insoluble in water and non-toxic. It is ureocolotelic. In human beings, main waste is urea, less soluble in water and less toxic than ammonia. Ureotelic.
The excretion in humans. In humans, nitrogen-based wastes are removed through the urinary system. The waste removed is in the form of urine. An adult human being usually passes 1 to 1.8 liters urine per day. Urine consists of 95% water, 2.5% urea, 2.55 nitrogenous waste. It is produced in the liver where amino acids are broken down.
Urinary system, which is the kidney. Urinary system is the human kidney anatomy. It consists of right renal artery, right kidney, right renal vein, and it consists of left renal vein, left kidney, left renal artery. It consists of a ureter in which the waste go to the bladder and then is removed through the urethra. Ureter are the tubes connecting kidney to bladder. Bladder is the part in which urine is stored and is excreted through urethra.
Skin. Sweating cools down the body and helps regulate the body temperature. The skin plays a role in excretion through the production of sweat by sweat glands. Sweating eliminates excess water and salts as well as a small amount of urea, byproduct of protein catabolism. The liver is a very important organ of excretion.
Liver as an excretory organ. The liver breaks down many substances in the blood, including toxins. For example, the liver transforms ammonia, a poisonous byproduct of protein catabolism, into urea, which is filtered from the blood by the kidneys and excreted in urine. The liver also excretes in its bile the protein bilirubin, a byproduct of hemoglobin catabolism that forms when red blood cells die. Bile travels to the small intestine and then is excreted in feces by the large intestine. Lungs as an excretory organ. The main function of the lung is to remove carbon dioxide and some water vapor. The lung expels around 18 liters of carbon dioxide per day and about 400 ml of water per day. Rate of ventilation, climate condition.
Common disorders of urinary system. Kidney failure. Partial or total loss of kidney function. Injury, infection, improper blood supply. Periodic waste removal by dialysis or severe conditions need kidney transplantation. Kidney stones, hard crystalline mineral material. Kidney or urinary tract. It is caused due to lack of water.
Transportation in plants. From the roots absorb nutrients and minerals and water from the soil. The roots then then transport the nutrients to the xylem, which is a thin tube-like structure present in the stem, and then and that xylem transports the minerals and nutrients into leaves. These leaves prepare food and then pass it to different parts of the body through a tube-like structure called phloem.
The plant transport system. Only water, mineral ions, and organic nutrients need transporting. Because of the low activity of plants, these are not needed rapidly. The plant transport system is much simpler than animals. Fluids move much more slowly. There's no pump to move the fluids. The cells transporting substances are known as vascular tissue. There are two tissues consisting of systems of tubes called xylem and phloem.
Absorption of water and minerals. The root hairs are tiny outgrowths from the root that absorb water and minerals from the soil. The absorbed water is pulled up to the upper parts of the plant by suction pull to replace water lost by transpiration. Root pressure also plays a role in movement of water. If pressures outside the root is more, through osmosis, water moves in. Vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. Xylem, it goes in the upward movement. It transports water and minerals. Ascent of sap. Phloem moves downwards, sidewards, and upwards. It consists of the prepared food and then transports it to different parts of the body. Transcloration.
Soil to root hair. Water moves from an area of high water potential to areas of low water potential. It goes down a water potential gradient. The cell sap has a lower water potential than the surrounding soil, so water moves into the root hair cell by osmosis. Cohesion and tension help to transport water from the roots to leaves against gravity. 1. Water evaporates from the leaves at the top of the xylem through transpiration stream. This creates tension, which is suction, which pulls more water into the leaf. Think of a straw for an example. Water molecules are cohesive. They stick together, H bonding. So a column of water moves upward through the xylem. Translocation. Translocation is the movement of dissolved substances, aka assimilates. Example, sugars like sucrose and amino acids to where they're needed in a plant. It is an energy requiring process that happens in the phloem. Translocation moves substances from sources to sinks. Enzymes maintain a concentration gradient from the source to the sink by changing the dissolved substances at the sink into something else. This ensures there is always lower concentration at the sink than the source.
Excretion in plants. Gaseous waste like carbon dioxide CO2 produced during respiration and oxygen O2 produced during photosynthesis are excreted via the stomata. Excess water from the plants are removed by the process of transpiration. Excess salts present water or soil are excreted as crystals and deposited in plants.
Guttation. Guttation is the loss of excess water as liquid drops from the margins of the leaves of herbaceous plants occurring when root pressure is high and transpiration is low. The water usually contains sugars and or maybe salts. Leaf fall. They shed as plants like tobacco, tea, almonds get rid of excretory waste stored within leaves through leaf fall. Waste compounds are often stored in dead hardwood, bark, and leaves which die or fall off. When chlorophyll breaks down, other compounds in leaves give the characteristic autumn colors seen just before leaf fall. Many older plants get rid of their wastes as resins, latex, and gums through their stems.
Thank you. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Learn It. Happy learning.
Happy learning!